Awesome.
It is now recording.
What? So you weren't asking me?
Mm-mm. Sometimes though, when you click down at the bottom, it can ask without you even asking.
Okay. That anyway, yeah, I'm actually glad. Yeah, I may want to go over this anyway, so this is perfect. Um, okay, so how did you meet Tyler?
So Tyler and I were both in a class together, and it was called Present Yourself. It was through the three key elements. And anyway, you end up being in this team. This is so different now. So what I'm telling you is so different than what they do.
Yeah.
But a long time ago, they used to have it where you would do a lot of presentations, and then you presented yourself. And so we did. And so he had said, "Hey, I would love, love, love to just set up a strategy session with you." And I was like, "All right, sounds good." And we lived part of the time in Mexico. And so it was like, we're leaving for Mexico, so it'll have to be afterwards. And he was like, okay. And literally, he's like, when did you get back? And I told him, and he goes, okay, can I meet you? I mean, can I set up this strategy session for this day? And I was like, sure. And I was really impressed because we literally crossed the border, and he texted me and said, I'm sure you're crossing the border. I just don't want you to forget. In 3 days, I'm so looking forward to meeting with you. And so we met, and he was like, you really impressed me. You are such a go-getter, and the energy you have around you is unbelievable. So what is stopping you? And I just basically told him, I said, Tyler, I buck the system. And so when I walk into my greatness, sometimes I make people really uncomfortable. And so I have a tendency to just kind of step into it, like put my big toe in it and then come back, instead of fully just engaging and saying, oh, well, I'm going to buck the system. And so anyway, we just started talking, and he was like, what if I knew a way that you could buck the system and that your personal worth would increase, so you understood that it was your value, that it wasn't you were bucking the system, it was that your personal value needed to increase. What would that be for you? And I was like, I love that. So anyway, to make a long story short, I started working with him, and it was just fabulous. The results were incredible. And then Anne Washburn came to my home, and she and her husband and family, they came and stayed with us for a weekend. She did a promotion here in Grand Junction for Three Key Elements. And our home is it's just majestical. It sits on a lake. Like, you walk outside our backyard and you jump into the water.
I love
So
I love
yeah, so it's just beautiful. I mean, it is. And anyway, at the end of the stay, Anne walked over to me, and I'll be honest with you, I never ever had a connection with her before. I mean, I didn't even really like her. Like, when she would go up on stage and talk, I was like, ugh. Like seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was interesting because she asked me, she's like, tell me some stuff. And I'm like, you're not real. Anyway, it was so funny because we were just sitting there talking, and she's like, you're the first person who's ever been real to me. And to make a long story short, she's like, we've always wanted to be in doTERRA. I mentor so many groups of people in doTERRA. I mentor Presidential Diamonds. We want to be on your team. What would it take to be on your team? And I said, well, why do you want to be on my team? And she's like, because you live the life. It's real. She's like, we have met so many people that say they're entrepreneurs, but they're not. They're enslaved to their job. You're not. She goes, we have
Even and especially network marketers.
Yeah. Yeah. And she said, we have had so much fun this weekend with your family. We just want to stay here. And so anyway, I said, well, and this was what was interesting. I go, well, in order for you to do that, this is what it's going to look like. You have to buy a diamond kit. We don't take anything else but a diamond kit. And then you have to decide your 4 people that you want as your CEOs. And you're going to ask them to do the same thing. And she goes, well, can we strategize if we want our children to be on our front line? And I said, absolutely, you can. But if you want your children, they'll be the same thing. They have to buy a diamond kit, and then you'll have to put 4 people underneath them. So it won't be 4 people. It'll actually be
16.
Yep. I said, so you have to decide how you want that. And she was like, okay. And I go, all right, well, before you sign up, because what we want is for you to sign up, them to sign up, them to sign up, so that you go in your first month silver, a minimum of silver.
Right.
It's like, okay, I don't know what that means, but okay. And I go, that's okay. That's why you have me. She was like, okay. So it was really weird. So they left. The next weekend, I had a business conference in Las Vegas for some to interview some CEOs. And I ended up meeting this gentleman who made Tony Robbins' website.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's like, I just want to show you this. And I'm like, okay. So he shows me Tony Robbins' website. Well, the whole entire time I'm like, oh, he's missing that. And he's missing that. And he's missing that. And so he gets down and he's like, what do you think? And I go, what do I think? And he's like, yeah. And I said, thank you for showing me Tony Robbins' website. You're missing 3 components, but I'm going to make $1 million off of it. And he was like, what? And I go, I'm going to make millions and millions of dollars off of this because I know what he's missing. And he's like, tell me. And I go, nope. And it was so weird that very day I called up Tyler and Ann and I said, we are supposed to do this website. This is what it looks like. I explained to them what it looked like. I showed them Tony Robbins and just said, look, this is what they're missing. Oh my goodness. They were like, are you kidding? I'm like, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. And so we have been working
On this.
Yep. Yep.
When will you launch?
So we're hoping to launch. So this Friday, I meet with Tyler and Ann, and it'll determine. It's interesting because it's a very interactive website. So it's literally, Natalie, it's if you were being mentored by one of us personally. Only it's a website.
So this is where you're going to feed your people into your CEOs so that A, they're trained, B, they have oil factual knowledge, this kind of thing.
But it won't just be for doTERRA. There's so many other network marketing agencies that have contacted me or Ann or Tyler and asked us to put something for this. So it won't just be for doTERRA. Now that being said, one part will be doTERRA specific, and then another part will be for this network marketing specific, and another part would be for this. But the one thing that we see,
so like unto Eric, I'm sorry, I'm such a question asker.
No.
But like unto Eric Worre's All Access GoPro, are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with that. It is like that, but it's so much. It's so amazing. It's just so amazing because it is so interactive. Like literally, I truly believe that from the teaching, from the, leadership that I've been able to have the last 23 years, unbeknownst to me, it totally prepared me for this moment. And I had no idea. And because I can see it, I know how to take, and not only do I, but so do Tyler, so do Ann, and there's other people that do too. So it's not just about our website, right? It also opens up doors for other mentors to come on and say, hey, could I do this part of it? Where they're the expert in that, and we want them to be a part of that. We want it to keep going. But this is really, so for example, like what we were just talking about, like if I were to say, Natalie, what's your intent? What do you want to get out of this?
Out of doTERRA or out of
this, like out of our conversation? Like when you get done and we say, okay, we'll talk to you soon, and you hang up the phone, you want what? What do you want?
I want to stay connected to you,
Mm-hmm.
your energy, your ideas, and helping me to be who it is I want to be.
I love it. So that right there, just by you telling that, if we were in a website, if we were on a website, that would be a question I would ask you. And from so I would have like A, B, C, D, or other, and you can write it in. That algorithm tells me where your mindset is and where to take you every single time.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Because the one thing that...
Are you going to keep it for your team, or will you open it up for...
No, it'll be open for everybody. It'll be open up for everybody. No. This is... Yeah. Because the one thing that I see in mentoring, especially in doTERRA, they try to fit everybody into one box, and we're not. We're all individuals. But it's interesting.
And that's why we have to have all the different presidential stuff. So when they try and cram it all into one share success, I'm like, okay, this only works for this many people, but we have this many people and we need all the other little, and if you have an entrepreneur, they usually kind of think they have their own way. And so, we need to leave space for whatever beautiful piece it is that they're going to bring us that we don't even know yet.
Right.
You are a huge, beautiful piece that I cannot wait to incorporate. I just want to download you as fast as I can.
Well, I'm so excited because when I came home from Presidential Diamond, I literally put a package together just for the business. Because first of all, we can't bring people into the business that we have on our teams until we show them a vision, because we're giving them another vision. And so some people are going to, be resistant and be like, no, I'm comfortable here. So we really need to show them a vision. So I'm really excited because I literally on the way coming home, I kid you not when I say this, it was early in the morning when Mike and I were driving home. And I'm just like, okay, I'm downloading, I'm like, then this is the next step. Then we have to do this. Then we have to do this. And then it was fun because yesterday I called some team members and I'm like, I need to practice on you. I need to make sure I have this.
Yeah.
Natalie, it was so amazing because every single team member, they're like, I kid you not, this was what they said. I feel liberated. I feel like I'm free. And I'm like, I love it. And then I called up 2 of our CEOs that we want. And I said, hey, I need you not only to be our CEOs, but I need you to be our guinea pigs. Would you just follow this protocol to see if it works? Oh my gosh. So they're meeting us tonight. They are on fire. They are so excited. They're like, are you serious? You mean we could honestly set something up that would go diamond in a month? I'm like, absolutely. So they are just on fire. I
want to know if your numbers are my numbers. I did the exact same thing.
I love it.
The exact same thing for investors, because here I haven't tapped into my warm market, because what I do is real estate. And these people, I'm like their wife for their financial whatever. And so, I just put numbers to it. 10,500 for the top 4, 6,400 for the next 16. And then those underneath that. But what I'm not sure about is we literally have to have some organic build. It can't just be investors only giving me 4. And then there has to be somebody at the top, because I can't manage. And I don't envision these people managing their own teams, because they're multi. I mean, they're living on yachts most of the year. But they would put their money in if I could show them, I can get them their money back in 3 months and hold diamond for 3 months with the right people.
Sure.
But I just can't. I'm not sure. When I say the poor person at top, I'm not going to put that energy on it. The excited, creative person at the top has to be pretty impressive and able to wrap her arms around essentially that first 4 and that next 16. I mean, I would hope that it would keep going, but at some point it's going to have to go organic.
Absolutely. But I think, and this
person's going to have to manage it. So she's got to be pretty freaking awesome.
Well, okay. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. But I think it's a lot more simplistic than that.
Tell me.
So that's why when I was doing my package, I was like, oh my gosh, the steps to this package are just amazing. So I'll just walk you through it. So we have a couple. They're very powerful. They're multimillionaires. They do not need any money. This is not about money. So I just painted a vision of what it would be like for time, because that's what they want. They want time.
Yep.
But along with that, they also need to rekindle relationships, because their relationship, even though they've been married for 25 years, their relationship is based on him doing his own life and her doing hers. And when they come together, there's a lot of strife. And then it's okay, because they go back to living their own lives. So when I took them on this path of the vision, it was about time and relationships, and then how influential they wanted to be. And it was amazing, because they both have incredible vision of the influence that they want to leave.
Yeah.
And so when I presented them the business plan of this, it was all about influence. And it was really interesting, because I said to them, how would you feel if not only you could be influential, but you influenced 4 other people. And then those 4 influenced 16. Those 16 influence. And I just kind of showed him the numbers. And he asked me, he goes, what does that look like? And I said, what does that look like? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, that's a great question. Let me show you what it looks like. And so I laid out to them basically the plan that I had. So it would look like something like this. The oils sell themselves.
Right.
And so what I do is I told him, I said, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to do a home makeover. And I'm going to spend the whole day. We're going to change out everything. And then I'm going to cook for you. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about relationships. And we're going to talk about what the oils can do to help remove negative emotions, not only for your relationships, but for your relationships with your daughters and those you come in contact with. And so that's how I'm building the oils. Now, he already has 4. They're going to be following him. So I'm going to ask his wife to come do home makeovers with me with those 4.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask the same thing of them. Really what we want is we want them to have an understanding of a very basic model of a business. They already have it.
Yeah.
What you do is go through it once, go through the numbers, and you have it. What they don't have is they don't have the belief system of the oils. That's
right.
where we come in to teach them. They don't want a class. Their time is way too precious for a class. But what they want is they want time. They want your time. They want someone to show them what that they mean and matter so much, because no one gives them time. Their time is devoured by their sense of company or who they are.
Yeah.
They don't ever have someone that says, let me show you. And so I did 2 things. 1, I'm showing them the value of my relationship with them. And 2, I'm building up the benefits of the oils. And I give them secrets. Like when I'm going through them, I'm like, hey, you know what? You're not going to find this in your book. I'm just going to let you know. You might want to write this in your book. And I do that all throughout. And like usually I start and I'll say something like, hey, just want to let you know, you're going to need this. I mean, I've seen your husband. He dives all the time. He's with my husband. You need Helichrysum, because Helichrysum, it is like the Speedy Gonzalez of stitches. It's the best thing ever. Write this in your book. And I just do everything. And before I even go to their home, if they have cats, if they have dogs, I am all over those things because I know. But then I bring it to the relationships. And I usually say something, and I did say this to them. I said, you know, your husband is the vice president of Apple. He has incredible leadership skills, but one day he's going to leave. And then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So you guys have 2 daughters, and one day they're going to be married and have grandchildren. Do you want them to have the lifestyle that you did? Take the money away. Do you want them to have the relationship that you have? And they were both like, no. And I said, but what if you gave them those patterns to have that relationship?
Yeah.
What if there was a way to break that? The oils are a chain breaker. They're the change agent for this. And so everything that I do is about them and asking questions, and then asking them without them even knowing to enroll in their own life.
Love it.
So there's a little bit of mentoring that I'm doing, but not enough for them to catch on. And for them just to say, I love it, and then move on. That being said, and this is what I think is interesting, because something that Natalie and the Goddards brought up, you know, they were like, you need an automatic system. You need to have exactly what they need to do. What if it was so simple that the automatic system was finding 4 other influential people who had the same vision, who wanted the same things? What if it was just that simple?
But duplicating that, we know by having been in and done the business, how do we carry that duplication through?
So the duplication is going to be all about a business, right? That's when you're showing them these are the 4 people. This is what happens when you have your 4 people. This is what happens this is what happens here.
I'm going to take you, I want to grab a paper off of my printer. So I was probably looking at it a little bit differently, like wanting to bring in people who already have money, and a lot of them already have time, and that's why they have time, because they've used me and my skills as far as, I'm their investment wife.
Sure.
To where they give me the parameters of what they need, and then by the quarter, depending on their taxes or whatever, I either help them make money or lose money.
Yeah.
Whatever they need, by finding the right real estate pieces, and specifically do it through real estate. And that led to them realize I didn't know it, but my gift is numbers. And so I can look at new businesses and go, yes, these are the people we should talk to. We are not going to talk to them, and kind of tell or feel what the outcome's going to be. So I haven't introduced any of these people, but they might give me 4 names, but I don't know if they're not going to carry through. So it's that influencer thing that I'm just trying to think through. How will I integrate that with these guys?
So let's role play. You be them.
Okay. Let me think of Tom. All right. You want me to tell you a little bit about him?
Yeah.
Tom's 57. He has a portfolio of about $43 million right now. Mm-hmm. I'm selling his $4.2 million home. He divorced and is living with a darling, beautiful trophy wife who is as sweet. I shouldn't call her that, but yeah. And she's as beautiful on the inside as she is the outside. And his divorce, it's recent, but he hasn't lived with this. He's been in this relationship with her for 2.5 years. They've gone and lived around the world on a yacht. He's in everything. He gave money for the First Costa Vida. He does restaurants. He does mining. He does rare books. Like right now, I'm transacting, trying to find a buyer for this Book of Mormon, first edition. But it isn't just those kind of books. He does all kinds. He does paintings. He does. There's nothing he doesn't do, right? And lots and lots of real estate, building. So now that's who you're talking to.
Okay. Tom, thanks so much for sitting down with me. Oh my goodness. So talk to me. What are the big happenings in your life?
Well, we're working on our new yacht, and that's been exciting to learn about woods. And they just fired our second architect because it needs to be certain specs, because we're going to be taking it across large open waters. We're joining this group of kind of elite sailors, and we aren't elite, so we have to make sure that the ship is super trustworthy. Yeah, so it's exciting. It's a little scary. We're doing it to be scared. We are.
I love it. I don't think I told you, Mike is a captain, and he had a 96-foot Irwin. So one of the nicest yachts you could ever get. And actually, that's where we met. We met on his yacht. And so I totally understand. It's when it says ship shape, that's what you want. You're taking it in rough waters, and so it's amazing. So what is your vision of this yacht, Tom? Like when you're done and you and your wife are sailing it, where do you see yourself doing?
We are just going to be done with the world and people. We just want to be together and relax and not have the stresses and pressures of the world.
Wow. So what would that
go all over the world?
I love it. So what would that look like, Tom, when you don't have any of the stress or pressures of the world? What does that look like?
Peace and heaven.
Really? Wow. So do you feel like right now you can create that?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So are you going to create that only on your yacht?
Interesting. What do you say to that? No, I'll create it wherever I go.
I love it. So could I say, Tom, that you are a major creator?
Yes, without a doubt.
I love it. So Tom, do you see yourself in these different places creating?
Nope. I'm done creating.
You're done creating.
I'm resting.
You're resting. So what does resting look like?
getting up when we want to get up, going to bed when we want to go to bed, pulling into a port, staying as long as we want to stay, leaving once we feel like we've, devoured it, explored it.
I love it. So what would happen, Tom, if there was a need there that you saw while you were exploring?
What kind of a need?
Let's say there's a need where it was your expertise that you saw there was something there that's those people in that specific time, in that specific area, they needed you. They needed your
I'd hurry and get on my boat and get the heck out of there.
You'd hurry and get on your boat and get the heck out of there. So if I understand you correctly, you're going to leave.
Okay, this is really him talking, right? I mean, like, this is where he is. He's like people averse at the moment. Well, he had a 30-year partner. He's had like 7 people in the last nine years that he's found out that have embezzled and, stuff he didn't want to know.
Yeah.
And one's getting ready to be a mission president, and it's just slaying him. And he wasn't going to make it court. He said, you give me X amount of funds back, which you obviously have, once they found out about the embezzling. And he said, and we'll call it good. And so he had his attorney, the other guy, the embezzler, had his attorney draft something to give to Tom, for Tom to sign, saying that he won't ever come back on him for any reason, so that he can go be a mission president. Yeah, so he's got some real, and Tom's dad is President Felt, who was president of before the MTC became the MTC, it was the Language Training Center. And he was president of that and was the one who oversaw the building of the MTC originally. So he has a rich heritage of, and his heart's been hurt a few times. So yeah, he really just doesn't want to do people.
So I would probably say something like this to him. Tom, what's your vision? Obviously you've had one. What is it?
Yeah. I actually know what that is. It's just to live in love and peace around as few people as possible. He has a very tight, part of me, I can't decide if I should feel like a weirdo or honored. It's somewhere in between, I'm sure. But, that I'm allowed into his inner circle. He has huge trust issues, huge.
So I would probably say something like this, Tom, I know you have vision. And I know your vision is more than just being together. I know your vision is about peace. What if you could help create peace here on this earth? What would that mean to you? What would you do?
Yeah.
We're going to be traveling on troubled waters. It's not always going to be peaceful.
Right.
Times you're going to be puking your guts out. And there are going to be times where you say, I want to be off of the boat. And you're going to get off the boat and you're going to be on land. And you're still going to feel the waves of the ocean in your body. We don't get away with it. All we do is we create peace where we're at.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's going to be disappointments. And yeah, there's going to be times where something gets broken on the yacht and you have to go fix it. Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. The point is, if you choose each time, that yacht, she'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. I can remember a time when my husband and I were sailing and I was so sick. And my husband told me, he said, the problem is you keep looking at the waters. You keep looking at the waves. Turn around and look at something solid, like that mountain right there. Look at that. And I said, are you kidding me? Steph, you have to trust in somebody else who's been there before. If you trust me and you look at that mountain, I promise you, it will subside. And sure enough, I started looking at the mountain. And I remember as I was looking at the mountain, I was singing this song. It's a song that I used to sing when I was a little girl. And I was just singing it. And then my husband said, what are you singing? And I started singing it to him. And it's really a fun song. And anyway, pretty soon he's like, well, you teach me that. Well, pretty soon I forgot about the mountain. And I even forgot about being seasick.
Yeah.
And I remember finally Mike saying, guess what? We're where we need to be. we're docking and we're getting off. And it reminded me of a time of life, right? It is rough waters. But if we listen to the one who's gone before us, then we have the opportunity to say, I'll look at that mountain.
I'll look at that.
Of the good things. This gentleman, so I'm just telling you, this gentleman, when you're talking about him, he is very visionary.
Oh, for sure.
What is going to get him when we're talking about him? I would get him to a place, like if I went there, I would then say, Tom, what would it mean to you if you could 10 times faster make money that could bring peace, not only to those who you come in contact with, but for those who are searching, who are on troubled waters, and they don't see a mountain in sight. But what would it mean to you if you were the mountain?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I read to you my Rumi card I pulled today?
Yeah.
I love synchronicity. Hold on. Oops. Okay. Oh, this isn't the one. It must have been yesterday's.
You're so funny.
Hang on. No, I want it. It must have been yesterday's.
Okay.
Dang it, I stuck it in the middle of the pile, but it was about, that you can feel unwell at the moment, but if you look ahead and stay focused, there's no sickness today. If you feel sick today and then change tomorrow, it was right along with that. When things are synchronistic. Okay, so when you talk to your people.
Well, hold on a minute. This gentleman who you're talking about, Tom.
Yeah.
He plays an important role. And I just wanted to share something with you. A lot of times, one of Satan's tactics is to get us to become disgruntled with where we're at, especially in people, so that we can fall back on old habits and become neglectful of ourselves. And so it's interesting because when Tom is talking about those people who he's disappointed in, it's really about himself.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So what I would do is listen really carefully to what he's saying, because he does want, I feel like the reason why, I feel like you guys have a similar story. And so you've connected on that level where he feels safe because you also have gone through certain things. And so because of that similarity, he feels like she would never do that because she went through it too, type thing. But I also feel that your influence on him is way more powerful than what you give credit. He's not looking at you as a financial investor. He's looking at you as a trusted friend.
Oh. I'd love that if that were actually there's some validity to that, I know, but that's a sweet yeah. I consider him one of my deepest friends, like I would tell him anything. Yeah. And I would protect him to the end as well too, because I know his heart, right?
He knows that. And because he feels protected with you, he'll always use you. He'll always stand by you. He'll never look outside of that circle, because he has you. And so I feel like he would almost be honored that you would even consider him.
He started a network marketing company called Makoa. I don't know if you ever heard of it or remember. It crashed and burned.
Was this Hawaiian things? No.
It was a drink. I'm trying to remember. I don't know, but I didn't do it. We put a lot of energy there and ended up losing a buttload. But intention behind it was they needed $4 to $8 million with a clean paper trail that was raised within 2 years. And so they sat at a table and decided immediately. I guess what I should say is the intentions were a little less than pure for the people that would be, legal, all of those things. They hired a chemist, got a great product, which really just had a lot of antioxidants in it. You fill anybody with a lot of antioxidants and they're going to feel better and think, and then there's the whole placebo effect. Anyway, the short of it is, after that, he swore he'd never do one again. But his new partner, she uses oils a lot, but she's not signed up with anybody.
So the other thing that I would think he's going to ask too, that you need to make sure you know how to answer, he's going to ask, why do you want me?
Yeah. Oh, because of his influence.
So paint me that picture.
Oh, well, it's unfortunate that so many people want a piece of him just for his money. But really, really, Tom, it's more than just the money. When you come into a room, people can feel your goodness and your authenticity. And that's what they want, the bigger piece of. And they can relate that the authenticity equated wealth and abundance. They just can't quite make the connection to themselves, right? And he should be a walking poster board for goodness, kindness. Yeah.
Where's his voice?
Pardon?
Where's his voice?
Hidden. Now.
So that's what's missing.
Yeah.
I would also bring that up. If he were to say, what do you want from me? I would say, you are so influential.
Yeah.
You lost your voice and we need it. Not only do I need to hear it, but so do so many people. And I truly believe, I hate to pull this card, but I'm going to, just because when you're talking about it, his patriarchal blessing says something about it.
Oh, for sure it does.
So I would even,
we've shared each other's patriarchal blessing.
Okay. I've only said this when I felt it was right, but I said, I need you to read your patriarchal blessing. Are you living it? Are you becoming that person? And the gentleman, because in his patriarchal blessing, one of our frontliners, it says, you will speak to millions and you will have millions of followers. And literally, when I asked him this, I said, are you living your patriarchal blessing? He said, well, I don't believe in it because this is what it says and this isn't where it's come to be. And I started laughing. I said, oh boy, you've forgotten. You forgot. So it's interesting because I have a feeling that's why people are, especially the opposition, wants him down. He's too influential.
Yeah.
And if he started a voice, what would happen? It's kind of like with you, right? We know that in the last days, there are lots of men and women in the church who are wearing sheep's clothing. We know that. We know that Satan is in the church throughout. He has to be. But we also know that there's a gathering. And that gathering is where we come together, connected, not as members of the church,
right?
As brothers and sisters who promised one another before we came here that no matter what, we would find each other. We would go arm in arm and we would fight our battle. And that's something that I feel is really important because a lot of times people feel if you're not a member of the church, you're not part of that battle. Baloney.
I just think that there are a lot of different churches who believe in the same battle with a lot of different language. And
absolutely. But there are a lot of people who, like my neighbor, he is so influential. He's been inactive for 27 years. 27 years. This guy has done everything. Now I can repeat that because he told me that. He goes, I've done everything. He goes, the only thing I haven't done, Stephanie, is killed somebody, but I came pretty close.
Huh.
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He goes, I was not a good guy. All I cared about was power. He said, and then when it came down to me either signing my life over to Satan or not, and he goes, and let me tell you, it's a real war. He said, I couldn't. I couldn't. And he said, even though I have not been to church for 27 years, I know what battle to fight.
Right.
And I truly believe those are the people that are coming. And so it doesn't shock me to find out that Tom has been in these situations.
Yeah.
It doesn't shock me of the stories. We all have our own. Me and
Right. And they have to, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But not only do we have to have that, but from that experience, it's easy for you and I to connect, and it's easy for you and I to have no judgment, no criticism.
Exactly. Or expectations, right? Which just can
Yep.
be a whole nother level,
Yep.
especially as a leader of a tribe.
Exactly. I love
So
it.
how are you going to maintain, let's jump back into how are you going to maintain the longevity if you have people, so you're enrolling them into the business. You aren't enrolling them you're not just enrolling them for the four CEOs.
So explain that to me. What do you mean when you say for the 4 CEOs or for the business?
Okay, well, I'm just thinking that maybe I misunderstood when you were sitting at the table a little bit about how you said you did the business. So I just changed for me immediately, and I was like, I'm just going to present this as a franchise. I mean, I know the franchise numbers, and say if you were going to put, let's say you needed, that's why I use the number 10,500. The cheapest condo you could pick up right now would be 10,005 down. If you had some special deal or whatever, you might be able to get in for 6. But if you put 10.5 into this, when do you get all your money back? Fluid, liquid, So I have a whole thing in my head that I want to get to a PowerPoint where I'm going to present it as a franchise. But most people I'm presenting to I don't know that they want influence, or that they don't want to hold a business. I think they'd like to get 4 CEOs, and they would love to know about the product, but I don't know that they want to run a new business. So I'm wondering how you're handling the longevity of that. You're just having them go 4 down, just take care of their people, and then they go with them. So they do their 4, and then they stay with them through the next 4, which is 16, and then they're essentially out of there, or you're handling all of that.
So it just depends, right? It depends on where people are at.
Yeah.
Okay, so like our neighbors, right? I'm going to use our neighbors. So they did their 4. Therefore did their 4, and therefore did their 4 the first month. But they have, and I explained to them, I was very adamant. I'm like, we are looking for CEOs. We're not building customers. Now, that being said, you have 200 people that come to your home all over the world. Absolutely, You're going to be placing them wherever. That's just money. But that's not your focus. And so it's really important when you're talking to people like Tom, right?
Right.
What you're explaining to him is you are sharing with him a vision. That vision is different than the business. And what I mean by that is, what if it could be anything? What if the franchise was anything? It just so happens that it's an incredible product that we love and it works. And we know sooner or later we're going to be using this. And not only us, but the world will be. There will not be pharmaceuticals. We know that. So what if this is just preparation for another grander vision? So what I do is I paint the vision for them. And I do not worry about the logistics of the business. What I want them to know about the business is exactly what I said. I want them to know that they have 4 influential people. And I always say, or more. Or more. They're going to have 4 influential people.
And you put them all on their front line.
Yep. And what I'm asking is exactly what I'm telling you. If someone was going to buy a franchise, they don't have to work in the business. If they're buying a franchise, or if they're buying a condo, let's use your example. If they're buying a condo,
they just buy it and it sits.
Exactly. And all they're doing is they're making an investment.
Right.
As doTERRA, they're making an investment. And I'll be honest with you, Natalie, sometimes I say, do you feel that your investment could be for your community? What if your investment was that you supplied oils for your community? What would that look like? So I make sure that the vision is much grander than what they could ever imagine. And I've got to tell you, when I've said that to people, they're just like, oh my gosh, I've always felt like this is something I was supposed to do. I didn't think it was oils, but I've always felt, and these are people who are not members of the church who have, a 5-year supply of food, or that have figured out how to make a greenhouse that lasts all year round. So these people it's interesting because they already feel like there's something there they're supposed to do. All we're doing is painting the vision more for them. So I guess my question would be to you, what more would you want them to do? If they found their 4, what more would you want them to do? And those 4 said, we're dedicated. We'll always have an LRP. We're done. What more would you want from those 4? Or from that person who brought in the 4?
I would want them to tend to the 4.
Absolutely. Here's the clue. Do you honestly believe that the 4 that someone chooses are not some of their 4 closest friends?
Right. Yeah.
They already entertain them. They already do things with them. You're not going to choose somebody that they don't have a relationship with.
Right.
So the tending is actually really easy. So what I love to do is get all 4 of them plus that other person, 5 plus me, 6 together, and I try to do things with them because I want to pick their brains. I know these guys are businessmen or women, and I want to know how to do it again, how to tap into, like right now, we're tapping into an insurance company, all from one gentleman who is the CEO of United Healthcare. I want to tap into him. And so one of his best friends signed up. And he's like, my best friend from high school is the CEO of United Healthcare. I'm like, I love United Healthcare.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So my feeling is we can overcomplicate it. And then we think I don't have the answer. And so I'm not going to do it because I don't have the answer. Or we can continue and say, nope, we have the answers. The problems, and I'm going to be honest with you, the problems and the steps that I created are really about vision and enrolling in your life. They're not about the other stuff. The other stuff is fluff that gets us caught up to neglecting what we're really here for. I don't want to neglect.
Can't write fast enough.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I honestly, if someone were to ask me, well, what do you want me to do with my 4? I would say, love them.
Yeah.
Just love them.
Yeah, totally. This is your business to love.
Exactly.
And instead of earning a living, let's earn a loving.
Exactly.
You have to write that down. Instead of a living. I freaking love that. Okay. Wonder if I heard that before. Doesn't matter. It's mine now. Let me look. So I called one of my front lines who I really can connect with, and she was just like same like what you were saying on the way home. We just started making brand new lists and got just like super crazy, like, oh no. And then I started thinking, well, what if I'm not really the things that it takes yet to be a blue diamond or to bring these people to me? But I guess I'll just learn that as I go.
So can I share with you something?
Yeah, please.
So what I've learned is that's actually where your vision board comes.
Yeah.
So my vision board, when I set my vision board, I say, Heavenly Father, this is who I am. But if I want to become like you, and I want to become and have the energy, and I'm going to be honest with you, I never say like a presidential diamond or anything like that, because there's an art and a skill. And what I saw this last weekend, they didn't have it.
That's so interesting that you would say that.
Yeah. So that being said, right? Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is when we reach a rank, we feel like we're done growing.
Ah, yeah, I see
Reach
that they
the
see that.
rank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no more growth. I don't ever want to become like that. So that being said, what I ask is, and I'll just tell you. So I asked Heavenly Father, I said, thank you for the gifts you have given me. What gifts am I lacking? And he said, you need to ask me for the greatest gift there is. And I stopped, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for that. And he said, Stephanie, I'm giving you everything. Why do you only take a little? I'm just waiting because it says the internet stopped. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it was like right at the critical part. So this is very important. When this stuff like this happens, it's important, right? So
So,
you said, go ahead.
so
You want me
said,
to where you left off?
yeah. So I said, I'm not ready for that. And he
You
said,
didn't tell me what the greatest gift was.
oh, so I haven't,
That didn't come.
yeah, it didn't come yet. I knew what it was in my head, but I didn't say anything yet. And I said, I cannot ask for that. I'm not ready. And he said, my arms are open wide. All of this is yours. Why do you choose to only take the limited amount? So I said, I do not know if in this life I can attain charity, which is the greatest gift. And he said to me, if you will have your vision board, if you will, if I give you the instructions and you follow them, by the time you take down your vision board, you will have the greatest gift. You will become charity.
That's what I want more than anything.
And so I said, okay. So I sat and I said, you tell me how to put my vision board together. And so he did. And it has been amazing. And the first thing he asked me is, and I'm going to just give you one thing because I want you to ask also.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I'm so excited to ask.
Yeah. So one thing that he said is he goes, these are the relationships you need to make stronger. So I put those names up on my vision board. And then I said, how do I make them stronger? And he would tell me. And so what would happen is I had my husband's name. I took it down and I put it below my vision board. And then there was a number, because one of the things that I was not doing is I was being very judgmental and very critical. I was the first one to say, you're doing that wrong, not only to my husband, but to my children. And so he said, build with your words. If you build with your words, the power of femininity and the energy of a woman, you can create anything. If you want your husband to be a certain type of person, create that with your words. So I put on there one, I put numbers, and then I would put the number one, and it would be building with words. And so that evening, I would come back to my vision board and I would ask, how did I do? And he would say, you can take the number one down, but put his name back up, for you are learning. So I would put his name back up, and then the next day I would look and I would say, now what do you want me to work on? And he would say, this part. And I would take that down, and then I would say, how does it look? What do you want me to do? And he would tell me. I would put that. Now, I'll be honest with you, Natalie, sometimes in the evening when I would ask him how I did, he would say, no, keep it down. You're still working. And so it has become this incredible evening ritual where when I report, I'm really reporting to him, and I'm really becoming. And so I ask, Heavenly Father, who do I have to become to have everything, not just a part, but everything. And from that vision board, he has shown me who I have to become. And some days I do really, really well. And other days I have to keep trying. But it has been a life transformation.
You're going to speak this at convention. Oh. Yeah. This is why we're all here. Literally. Period.
Yep.
And so you don't recruit. You don't sit in a chair and spend hours contacting people. You only do people who come into your daily.
Yes, exactly. You okay?
Yeah, I just need you. I have a friend on here that wants to join doTERRA and be a builder. I'm a little out of practice. Wondered if you'd talk with her over here. I'll respond to her in a minute. She's one of my pregnant single moms in England. She's darling, but I can talk to her in a minute. Yes.
And she's in England? Holy moly. So that's late.
My largest volume is in England, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I got 175 right now volume there. That's my largest. Yeah. I got 2 diamonds in England and getting ready to pop a third.
Wow. That's so exciting.
It is exciting. And how it's happened has literally been, I'm due to give birth over the next few days yet. I'm a little bit emotional. Seems to be clearing a lot. Okay. It must say that I'm on the net or something, or else she probably would, but she can still wait. Let's see. Okay, so who do I have to be to have everything? And even with that, I feel like I have so much, but I want to have everything so that I can be effective with others, right? So that I can be that love light. Man, I want to do that.
And that's what I think is important. That's why it's so easy, because I'm not recruiting, right? I just share a vision. And they are connected to that vision, and they're a part of it. And I'm very bold in that. There's times where I will say, I know you are part of this vision. You can choose not to be a part of it. But I know that you are. You would not walk into my path. And I've even said it, which I know is true. I only bring into my space powerful men and women. Very powerful. And so I know if you come into my space, then you are very powerful. Now, that being said, there's a lot of experiences from that have really helped. So I've never been judgmental about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been an incredible experience after experience. I'm a returned missionary. My husband was not a member when we married. And there were a lot of things that happened.
How did you meet? I mean, so you met on a yacht, but I mean, where were you from? Where was he from? There's something I'm supposed to know about that.
So I'm from Colorado, where we live, and Mike is from California. So Mike is a U.S. spearfishing champion. And my husband, and my sister's husband, Nunu, he's from Portugal. He's on the Portuguese spearfishing team. And they met at a competition, and they just were like, oh, we feel like we're brothers. Anyway, they love the ocean, love surfing, love everything about it. They're totally mermaids. And I was doing an internship in Florida, and Mike called and said, hey, I want to explore the Spanish Virgin Islands in Puerto Rico, and then let's do the Virgin Islands. And I was wondering if you and my sister Karine want to come. And Nunu said, yeah, but we have my sister-in-law Stephanie with us. Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'll invite another single guy and maybe we can hook them up. And anyway, make a long story short, we're sitting in a restaurant. And I was 27, Mike's 37, so there's 10 years difference between us. We're sitting in this restaurant, and I looked at him, and out of my mouth, I said, I am going to marry you. And my sister, she just smashes my foot. She's like, what? He is not a member. And I said, he's not, but he's a child of God. And it's true. And so 13 years later, he joined the church because he told me, I'll never join for you. And I'm like, thank you. I don't want you to join for me. And there were there's a lot of experiences, a lot of stories that happened during that time. Some were great, some were not so great. But we just celebrated our 20th. And I've got to tell you, it is never before. There's no way I could have married someone that didn't bring so much into my life, because he is one of a kind. And I love every minute of it. And because of his background, we attract such incredible people, and they're not intimidated. You know, sometimes people are intimidated when they find out that you're a member of the church and you're a returned missionary. But I've got to tell you, boy, do you just lower those playing fields when you say, I married a non-member, because they're like, you're reachable. Wow.
Exactly.
And so it's been beautiful. And so it's like our neighbors, you know, when he found out that I was a returned missionary, he got a little nervous until you know, he found out a little bit more. And now it's so funny, because now when I see him, he'll say, tell me a missionary story. And I'm like, why? He's like, they're just so amazing. And it's really because his spirit misses feeling that, right?
Yeah, truth and synchronicity.
Exactly. So it's just been amazing. So it's been an incredible story, which is funny that we're even talking about this, because this morning, when I was writing Heavenly Father a letter, when he wrote me back, he said, you have been prepared for this time. There's no holding you back. There's no holding you back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, here we go. But it's interesting, because one thing he did tell me, he said, your husband has always had this vision. Follow him, and you will never go astray. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. I'm super overwhelmed in deep gratitude. Well, for you, but also for my front line. And we've kind of been through it the last year. I mean, we've had some real come to Jesus moments, right? But they are the perfect people. And they have helped me grow so much. And I feel like everything that I've done in doTERRA these last almost 4 years has been to prepare me to meet you. I am ready. This is how I want to do the business. I want it to be, because I want it to be about the business, but I also want it to be about, you know, the enrolling and the influence. And we're here to change things, and the oils do it. When you said the oils are the chain breakers, I'm like, and it's all about relationship. When you said to do the vision board about relationships, literally my heart was on fire, because I'm getting ready to do it, right? And I had started to do one about the partner I want to bring into my life. And I need to, I've got other relationships first. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting, because when it comes, it just comes, right?
Yeah.
It really comes. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so that being said, I would love to take your team and your frontliners. And so it was funny, right? Because I was putting this package together. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. So I talked to my frontliners, and one of my frontliners, she's actually in Brazil building right now. And it's so funny, because she called me up 2 weeks ago, and she's like, we can't keep enough product coming into Brazil. And I go, right, don't get customers. You just do building. And it was so funny, because she was just like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do this. And it's so funny, because from being there, she has some powerful leaders in Brazil, and all they're doing is building diamond structures. That's all they're doing. So they're not worried. And it's funny, because you have all these other teams that are in Brazil that are worried about getting product in, but right. It's because they're focusing on customers, not on building.
Yeah.
And let's just get through the fluff, right?
Yeah.
This is the plan of salvation.
Exactly. You got it. Like, no, I've got it. Okay, so will you meet with my frontline?
Yeah, so this is what I was going to tell you. So what I would love to do, love to do, is So I put a package together, and basically what I did for my frontliners too is I just said, hey, listen, I will give this to you for $29.99. It's 8 weeks. It's yours. You can have it. You can do with it whatever you want. You can have all my slides, everything. But in this, I hope you don't think this is weird, but I make my frontliners pay for it.
No, I'm totally good.
But the reason why I do is because I want them to be invested. And they are not, if there's not some kind of payment, they're not invested. But what I would love to do is do it for your team for that price, not individuals, for your team. So then you take your team members and say, divide it and say, this is what it's going to be. Because that's what I did with my team. I said, listen, I would normally do this for $29.99 per person, but I'm not. Because I want to take 2 months and to see what we can create. Because I'm telling you, Natalie, I feel we could create a massive movement.
Me too. And
you have to remember something, Natalie. When you're saying stuff like, oh, you're going to be presenting, I watched you on stage. You know you're going to be presenting.
No.
Yes.
Elise tells me all the time that I suck at it.
Well, let me tell you somebody who's very good at presenting. You are very real, and that is what they'll want. Not only are you real, but there is an essence about you that you love other people.
I do.
I know you do. And because of that, you will be asked multiple times to speak. So I just want to prepare you, because there's something that you do that's very incredible, especially when you take the numbers part of it. They're going to want to know that, because there's a story there with those numbers. And
yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So because of that story, you will be very powerful. So let me just share something with you that I had a hard time with. I think Elise is very good at what she does and so on and so forth. But there has to be where we trust the process, where the strategy is not how to strategize so you always win and make it your way, where the strategy is, I trust you're on my team because we have the same vision.
Damn. But no, blessed.
Yeah. But it's true, right? And that's where I see the disconnect. That's where I connected. I went, ooh.
And that's really the same. And that's really true. So my frontliners, absolutely, we have the same vision. And we don't fit in very well. I mean, you don't know me to know this, but I don't fit into Lisa's protocol. And that's why when people say, well, how come you don't know this? Well, she never talks to me. Unless she's in dreadful fear of not thinking that this second group of 6 are not going to hit. She's calling to get my numbers. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be okay? And I said, well, when was the last time in 3 years I haven't been solid? I know. I just need to know, kind of the OCD part, right? But she's a freak of nature, and she's a good woman, and I will always be grateful for her to introducing me to this process. But I do not resonate with her. But so there's another person. I don't know if you noticed me sitting by her. Her name is Christan. And Christan lives, I'm 2 hours north of doTERRA. She's about an hour 45 south. And she's amazing. And I think it's going to be like you and me. So we don't hardly ever see each other. I'm trying to even remember how we met. It was through doTERRA. We kind of only see each other like at convention and leadership, but when I see her, I know she's real, right? She's real. So last night I had this, so I'm a dreamer. And so when you're saying for me to ask, I know I'll get specifically the answers. Yeah. So in my dream, this guy that my ex-husband's cousin that I dated, which is, anyway, it's stupid, but it was brilliant because I learned a lot of things about my ex that never came up in 31 years of marriage. So anyway, he helped me to see. But in this dream, I'm running. I love to run, and I haven't been able to run. It's been almost 4 months now because I got this long story. other stuff, and then I sprained my ankle at convention, and then it just keeps swelling. But it's spirit keeping me down. It's keeping me in this place. But like I'm finally ready to, like, I've gained 42 pounds in a year. It's time for it to come off. It's time for me to run. I'm running in my dream, and Mac's dog, which is not the dog that he has, runs up to me and is loving all over me. And I like dogs, but I don't have one. I had him when the kids were little. I don't like want him in my house on my bed kind of thing. Anyway, this dog kept coming to me, and I would run, and he would come up, and he was protecting me. He would circle me, and I freaking loved this dog. And then so finally I say to the dog, what are you doing? You know, I'm good. I'm in a safe place. And he says, I'm taking you to birth the feminine. And you said, where did I put it? That you were going to use your feminine power. So I have to cross my dreams over. He said, I'm taking you to birth the feminine. And then he takes me to this large triangle up the canyon. And you're at the head, and I'm in one corner, and Chris stands in the other corner. And I look to her, and she's not there. I just see her name written. And I was like, what are we birthing? You know? And so, like, all day, that's why you got the text this morning. Like, okay. So the triangle means, I mean, I don't even know. I'm just learning about sacred geometry and astrology and about 4 other things all at the same time. I just don't even have enough. Well, I'm not, yeah. But so I'd really.
What is the?
What?
You know, what's the triangle? It's on the dollar.
Oh, the all-seeing eye? I'm birthing their seeing eye. We are birthing
truth. What has been missing the whole entire time in feminine energy? There are lies. You and I are the same age, and what did we get growing up?
Oh, absolutely.
Lies, right? Oh, you can't be a mom. Oh, you have to have a career. Oh my gosh, you have to do this, right? And because of it, because of those lies, we are seeing very powerful women, and they are powerful in corporate, they're powerful in whatever, right, entity that they choose, and we've been there. We've been one.
Yeah.
But there has been a price that has been paid in order for us to stay there. And that price has been relationships. Whether it's been our own relationship or relationships with our spouse, relationship with our children, whatever. And literally, Heavenly Father needs powerful women to come up and tell feminine women, well, when I say feminine, right, they're in a masculine energy, but to tell women it's okay to be feminine. As a matter of fact, you can be more powerful in a feminine energy than you can in your masculine. Let me show you how. And what I love is that feminine energy is exactly what you said, right? It's creating.
Yeah.
Well, we have forgotten because the opposition has said, if they really knew what that feminine energy could create just by their own words, we'd be in trouble. And so what he does is he gets us into a masculine energy. And so that masculine energy, when we come home and the husband is in a masculine energy, someone has to drop. And it's not the woman. It's the man. And that is why the men were seeing pornography shoot up. Because when a man views pornography, he is seeing a woman in a feminine energy. And he feels like he can protect her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So we need to bring back, and right, this is all about war. Let's get to the nitty gritty. This is about war. This is about warfare. This is about strategy. This is about real strategy.
Yeah.
If you want to strategize to win the war, we have to go back into our natural femininity, power of creating.
When can we meet with my front line? I cannot wait to pour you all over them.
So why don't we choose, it looks like this, right? It's 8 weeks. It'll be one. So, and this is something that we're going to have to kind of go through, because I put on there step 1, because I don't know your front line. Sometimes it's easier. Well, I'm just going to go there. So what would happen is I would send out a questionnaire. It's called an authentic questionnaire. The reason why it's so important that we do that for you and your front line is a lot of times we have a hidden behind something, right? We're afraid to walk into something or whatever. This questionnaire, it actually brings out everything. And so the first time we meet, that's what we would go over. We would go over what you guys said. And the reason why is because you're going to see a commonality of a theme, of a vision. That theme and that vision, that's really what you're going to be looking for. So I'll be honest with you, Natalie. When you come into my space, I already know it's about feminine energy. All right. So it's interesting when you said that, because I'm like, oh, thank you, Heavenly Father. I don't have to wait for 8 weeks for her, to say something. And then I go, oh, yay. Because it always is.
Okay.
I told you in my space, it's always powerful people.
Yeah.
Very powerful. And the majority of it is powerful women who have been in a masculine role for a very long time and have lost their identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. How would I know? Right? I did it too.
Yeah.
So that being said, so what would happen is, so this is what it looks like. So we meet, that first time we meet, and it's about an hour, it's a webinar. Then afterwards, and this will be something that you and I have to determine, because you as the leader, you have to go first. So for your team, you and I have to meet once a week for a minimum of an hour. So that, because you cannot ask your team to go unless you've gone before.
Amen. I'm with you totally on this.
Yeah. So even though we have a webinar for them, the meat of it is with you and I.
Okay.
So because it can't be that I'm leading. It really has to be that I'm just showing them things and you're leading it.
Right.
Because if not, what happens is they look to an outside source.
Mm-hmm.
You have them. This is your team. This is why they chose to be with you.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you and I are always, always together. So what happens is during that meeting, you and I'll say, this is the step, this is the next step where we need to take him. What do you want to do? How does this look like for you? And then we're going to develop it around you.
Okay.
We're really good with numbers. Let's put in numbers. Because the one thing that this is duplicatable because it's you.
Totally.
If I give you something that's duplicatable for me, then you guys are like, well, I think this is what she meant on this slide. But guess what? If it's all about you, you'll always know. And that's where power comes.
Yeah.
So we'll develop. So the steps are already outlined. We're going to develop the content together.
Okay.
So it's going to be, you're going to say, I want to take him here, and this is how I want to take him. And what's going to happen is we're going to teach them how to ask, listen, repeat, and relate throughout the whole thing. So remember when you told me about what I would teach the people that are CEOs?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I teach. Ask, listen, repeat, relate. That's all from day one.
Okay. Awesome.
Because that is key. Now, if they have ask, listen, repeat, relate, they can enroll anyone. And if they get it, and they will get it, then they enroll themselves. Because that's the first thing we ask for. What's your number? Where are you at? What's keeping you? We'll go over vision boards. And the biggest thing that we're going to go over too is declarations, because there's a lot of things in declarations that people don't know. So people will sit there and say these declarations over and over again, and it means nothing to them. But they're doing it because someone told them that if they did it, something would take place.
Right.
Well, it has to go through the reticular activating system. And if you're not saying the right words, it doesn't. Most people, when they're attracted to me, I already know that they're judgmental and critical also, because that's how I am.
Huh.
And so I think I told you guys this. So our verbiage of declarations can never be I am.
Right. It says my friends say or something.
Yep, exactly. It has to be my friends say. Or like I even use So I say, my team, my CEO team states that I am the master of communication. And when I say that, something inside of me just warms and says, yes, yes, you are. So I switch that because that goes through my reticular activating systems. And then there's no negative baggage that says, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
totally.
there's little tactics that we're going to switch them so that they know. And then we're going to get them to understand their experiences and to let go of the negativity so that they have this epic story. And then as they're asking, listening, repeating, that relate is going to be so amazing. For example, like your friend, right? I could totally relate to him. It was easy because I've been on a yacht before. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to live on it. But I also know what it's like to get off.
Yeah, which they've already done, right? And it's only after months of being home that they're deciding to build another one. So
Exactly.
okay, so we'll meet. So
Why don't you?
what you're saying? We're going to take $29.95 a week.
Nope, it's just $2,995 for the 8 weeks.
Oh, 2,995.
Yep, for the 8-week course.
And this will be for my whole team.
This is for your team. Yep. So what I would ask of you is get with your team, decide on a date and a time. And actually, if you'll give me 2, that would be great. I'm a very early
dates and times to start, or for our weekly meeting.
For your weekly meeting, give me 2, okay, it could be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. or it could be on Thursday. Give me 2 different ones that I can choose from.
Okay.
So, and I will let you know. And the thing that I think is going to be great is I'm starting my team next week. I would love to start your team next week too.
Me too.
I would love to just talk about this is the progress we're seeing, or this is what we notice, because our team let's be honest, if our team gets stuck, it's because we're stuck.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's interesting how we can be segmented. So Europe, not stuck. Texas, stuck. Florida, dead. Like I could, yeah. Like we have all these different, I want that house chart thingy.
Oh, that's right. I got to.
Okay, let's see. So when are you doing yours? Do you have the time when you're doing your team next week?
Okay, so I get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So ours is actually at 5 a.m. on Mondays because that was the best for everybody. So yours is going to be completely separate. Because the one thing you want that I've...
Oh, yeah. I would like to keep my team together.
Absolutely. And that's the same with ours. You want it to be together, and you don't... Sometimes, and trust me, I've done this before. I put 2 teams together that didn't know each other, and it turned out fabulous. But where we could have gone in 8 weeks was actually severed by some of the people not liking personalities. And so they wouldn't get invested. And so I went, I'll never do that again. Never, ever. Yeah.
No, I'm good. Okay. So, $29.95, 8 weeks, same time. I've even got to look at what I can do.
Well, and yours is going to be different though too, Natalie, because yours, the webinar, but then we do 1 day a week for an hour. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes that's not enough. So sometimes it could be that we start on something and then we go, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And we don't finish. So that hour is really, it has to be really flexible.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that on that day, right? It could be that we just say, okay, let's meet tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, that's more critical than the webinar.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's really what's the glue.
Okay, so then I need to get you connected with Chris-Dan.
Oh, that was mine. Haha, not yours.
Do you know what? I'm glad you recorded this. Will you send me the recording? I'll send it to Chris-Dan, and then I'll arrange for you guys to meet. Like I said, she's not my leg, but we are great builders, and she has a healthy check as well. And so what I might do is some of my frontline builders aren't really who I'm qualifying through. So I'm going to take my 6 workers.
Yep. That's
Okay.
a smart woman. Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. And this is how I would present it to them. I would say, we have the opportunity to change. And from this day forward, I want you to be looking at loose change differently. I want you to be looking at pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and I want you to pick them up. And I want you to say every time you do, I'm ready for change. This is all about change. And if you're ready, I'm asking you to invest whatever it is, $275 for an 8-week. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to be 8 weeks. It's going to be a week webinar. The person who's going to be teaching us, her name's Stephanie McGuire, and she has put in, and you can say this because this is true, she has put in over $150,000 of her own time, energy, and money into being mentored. And because of that, she loves puzzles and she loves change. And she has taken her doTERRA team into a completely different dichotomy. And it's where I want to go so that quickly we can build diamond structures and we can quickly fulfill our life's mission. doTERRA is just to get us there.
Amen, sister. Okay.
I would say, Nat, do you feel an urgency? Because if you do, this is for you. Because really, that's what I feel. I feel an urgency.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. Okay, so how many? I have some people in my second leg that this would really, really serve. So what's the cutoff for how many? What's a good cohesive group for?
You're going to have to determine that, right? Usually anything over 10, that's when you're kind of in trouble. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that. What is that movie where they're going to buy dishes and she goes 10 and he goes, yeah, because 12 is too many and 8 is too few. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, 10 is usually good. But when you have 10,
8 is my favorite.
Sometimes the webinar can go longer because the one thing that you don't want so just to let you know, I will never lecture. Never. It is interactive. It is completely interactive because it has to be. So my philosophy is I could give you the answer and then it's what I think. I can take you down a path where you find the answer and then it's truth.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be an opinion. I want it to be truth. So I don't ever give them the answer. We take them down a path.
Okay.
Discover it.
Yeah.
And that being said, there's also a lot of role playing from day one. We role play.
Okay. Perfect. So Stephanie, I had this other weird dream, and so now I'm going to Virginia Beach on Friday, and I won't be back till Monday. I'll be back just in time for my new moon celebration that I've already invited people to. Wait, are you going to be in town this weekend? When are you coming?
So I come on Friday. So and to be honest with you, I think I'm coming on Thursday and then leaving on Friday because I have another conference that I'm speaking at on Saturday, which is about 3 hours away from us. So.
Okay. What conference is that?
So my sister-in-law, I think I told you, she's a bigwig in the medical field, and she had an aneurysm and a stroke at the same time, and she ended up using frankincense in the Life on Vitality pack, and so she went and talked to doctors about the changes that she had, and so they asked if so what happened was I was her caregiver, so they asked if I would report on what I did and the changes I made, the changes that I saw in her, to bring hope to those that have not seen any changes. So these are for head injury patients.
Yeah.
To bring hope.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I'd love a copy of that talk.
You bet.
I have a son who had a Because I've had two that have had, one had brain surgery and the other one had, on his mission, horrible accident. And long story, they're in Africa and he didn't get the care he needed. And he struggles with depression. Yeah. Okay, so all right, I'll figure out my list. So what I was telling you is, so now I'm going to Virginia Beach to this Intuition and Clairvoyance conference at the Education Institute at the ARE. I'm so excited. So I'll leave early Friday morning, and then I'll get back Monday at about 1 or 2, and then I've got the new moon celebration Monday night. But if I can get everybody together tomorrow, I would love to start Tuesday. Oh, wait. No. Oh, no, you're doing Monday.
Yep, Monday mornings are ours. We should never conflict because I don't know of another team.
5 a.m. Yeah, on mine, because I meet at 4:30 on Mondays with Europe, right?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so Tuesday, I'm just looking over Tuesdays. Well, I already have an 11 to 12 accounting, but that's good. I think I'm going to see if I can't shoot for Tuesdays. Does that feel okay to you? And then I'll try and come up with a time of who all it might match. Absolutely. And then if you'll send me this recording of us, I'm just going to send it to Chris Dan and then let you connect, because you'll want to charge her you'll want to do her group separately, but I would also like us to figure out to keep in our triangle together.
Well, the other thing that we could do, to be honest with you, maybe what we could do is, yes, do her group separately, but maybe when we mastermind, have us 3 come together to mastermind it.
Yeah, that's what to throw in.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Amazing.
So what does she look like?
If you go to the Leadership magazine, is it Kristen Stewart? I think her you're McGuire. Stewart. It's KRISTANN, 2 N's. Uh-huh. And she'll be under the diamond section, and she's a cowgirl. You'll love her. You will love her. She lives on a ranch in Fairview. Yeah, her own ranch. I think it's like 500 acres. It's a ridiculous amount of acres with horses and that she created with her own, strong girl. And she's just real. She's real, and me too. I love real. I love you. You will love her. So, is there something I can do for you?
It's funny, right? I was sitting there thinking, I was actually even thinking that, and I don't think so, not right now, but I know there's something. I think the collaboration of the mastermind is going to be amazing. And I don't know, it was just interesting. I really feel like whatever we're doing, this is in preparation for you to, even though, I'm just going to put it out there, there's a connection there with Elise. There's a reason why you needed to be under her.
For sure.
She's going to be looking at your team, and she's going to ask, what are you doing? You're going to share with her, and you are going to be presenting this. So I really feel that mastermind is going to be very critical, because that's what you're going to be presenting, not only to your own team, but I truly believe to a lot of her own team, because let's be honest, there's a lot that do not connect with her. I met a gentleman who's on her front line also, and he was like,
it's probably Kurt. Well, it could be several. It could be Spencer. It could be Boyd. I mean, it could be a lot of people. So, yeah.
Whoever it was, this gentleman, I know it's not Boyd, because Boyd and I really connect.
Who are you under?
I'm under Callie Wilson.
Oh, but so you're under Elise.
Yeah. Pretty far under Elise.
Yeah. I love Callie Wilson. Who doesn't love Callie Wilson? That's some real stuff right there.
Yeah. It's been amazing. She's just a sweetheart and a half.
Yeah.
But what was I going to tell? Oh, this gentleman, I don't remember his name, but he
larger guy, bigger build.
Yes.
Was he at Presidential Pursuit?
Yes.
It was Kurt. Kurt was her only male front line there. Yeah. Well, except for Samson. Samson did the haka, but it wouldn't have been. Yeah.
I like Samson.
She's brilliant in recruiting.
Yeah.
I look around whenever I'm frustrated with her and I just go, okay, but you're here and Samson's here and Kirk's here and there's some really great people
Yeah.
that she's been able to enroll us in our life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
No, you're absolutely right. She is brilliant on that.
yeah, she's a freak of nature in some areas, but I'm ready to enroll other people in the real vision and have success doing it and have a strategy for my people to be able to follow. Yeah.
And to be free.
To be free. To be free. Yeah.
I totally agree. I love it. Okay, well, I am going to send this recording to you, and I'll send it through a Google Doc because it'll be big.
Yeah.
A Google Doc, and that would be fun to do, Christiane.
Let me see. I think what I'm going to do, just so that you're directly connected. Would you send it to me? Will you send it to Christiane as well? Just, I want to make sure that we double. Well, Google Docs, if it comes in my email, I can just forward it, right? And she'll be able to open it?
Yep.
I'm not techie as I should be. I could get another assistant. Yeah. Okay. I'll send it on because I don't remember what her email is, but I want her to have it.
I'll just send it to you via Google Doc. So it'll download.
Okay.
And then we'll upload it to Google Doc. And then I'll send it to you. So it'll take, about 5 minutes. And then you can do with it whatever you want.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.
I'm going to try and get Tuesday ready so that we can go Tuesday. I'll come back, go.
Okay, so the only thing that I would ask is for Tuesday, if you guys decide on Tuesday, if you would just, as soon as you decide on a day, if you'll send me everyone's email, so then I can send them what we're going to be doing for that first day.
Okay. Yep.
Love it.
I'll see if I can't pull it together tonight.
You're wonderful.
You are too. We'll see ya.
Sounds great. Bye.
Uh-huh.